and what you can expect from the course, right? I think that will give you a perspective about what exactly a business analyst is supposed to do, and what is it that you learn in this course as well, right? So before we start, let me give an introduction about myself. I'm Raju. I would be the tutor for this course, and I've been in this industry for almost 10 years now, working in an IT organization, a large MNC, and I've been in various roles, not only as a business analyst but project manager and into business development as well. So I have a complete end-to-end perspective. I have an engineering background with an master's in management. Right? So that's a brief background about myself. I've been teaching for the past 3 years now, so the course has been matured and ensured that whatever is the requirement for a business analyst role, we've tried to cover it in detail, right? So before we get into the role of a business analyst, I just want to tell you that there is an organization called IIBA, stands for International Institute of Business Analysis, and it kind of oversees the profession of a business analyst. It guides what exactly is the role of a business analyst and tries to define the role of a business analyst. Right? They also offer a certification called CBAP, Certified Business Analyst Professional. Right? So there is also a book or a guide which is published, for this kind of certification called Business Analyst Book of Knowledge. So which basically categorizes the knowledge areas of a business analyst into these 6 knowledge areas. Right. So the course would be aligned to that, and though we are not focusing on a certification point of view, we are focusing from focusing on ensuring that the course is more aligned for people who want to get into a business analyst role and who don't really have a who don't really understand the role, because the certification, you can take the certification only once you have some experience, right? So the kind of training for certification is different from the kind of training for onboarding new people, right? So we're focusing a lot more onto the fundamentals, ensuring that you understand the role clearly, the overall environment of your of an IT project, right? So how is it structured? Who are the various other stakeholders and all the details thereof? And we're focusing a lot more onto the fundamentals. So that's a way that's a key message I wanted to say. So coming back to the role of a business analyst, you might have a fairly bit understanding of what a business analyst would do, right? So the key role of a business analyst would be to understand the requirements and document them. So these are the 2 main knowledge areas of a business analyst which are expected, right? So this forms a significant part of your job profile, right? So when you are understanding the requirements, right, when you have to engage the customers or your SMEs, subject matter experts, requirements, right? So you need to know what are the ways in which you can engage with them, right? So it's not just going and talking to them, but there are multiple other ways in which you can engage, right? So that's where the requirement elicitation comes in, and that helps you understand the requirements in a more effective fashion, right? Once you understand the requirements, you also have to document them, right? So for documenting the requirements, there are some frameworks which have evolved, like a use case framework, or maybe data flow diagrams or an ER diagrams, right? So the multiple.
There are 4 other callers on the call. Muted.
Requirement is complete and is not conflicting with other requirements. So those frameworks help you analyze the requirements and then put you in the best way which the technical team can understand. Right? So these 2 activities form the core of a business analyst role. Right? Apart from this, when the project starts, while the project manager manages the end-to-end planning of the project, right? You contribute to that planning for all the requirements related activities, right? So you have to provide the inputs about, what would be the, schedule and efforts for your requirements related activities. How do you manage scope? How do you manage change? Right? A lot of other things which you'll learn during your planning session. And once the requirements are captured into your business requirements document, right, or popularly called as BRD, right? The technical team would design and develop the system based on the specifications what are written by you in the BRD, right? So the BRD forms the basis for the next two phases, and there is very little involvement from a business analyst after that, right? So once the solution is ready, right, the system has been developed by the technical team. The system needs to be tested by the by the client, right? So there is some testing activities going on, and you would be required there for coordinating and then analyzing and providing inputs onto the defects, right? So though IIBA doesn't really consider that as a part of a business analyst, in the practical scenario where actual work profile of a business analyst, you are expected to coordinate the user acceptance testing as well, the acceptance testing, right? So we learn about what exactly is a testing life cycle and what is your role into that, right? It's more again an addition to the business analyst book of knowledge, and it tries to impart that practical aspect to it, wherein the practical industry would want that kind of experience, while though the business analyst book of knowledge doesn't specify that, right? Apart from that, you also have to manage the communication of the project, right? So you have to ensure that all the stakeholders are getting their information needs, right? So you have to plan for your communication and then ensure that it's ongoing, right? It's a small session, just it would take a 1 hour session for that, but yeah. So that's one of the key knowledge areas what a business analyst should have as well, right? Another thing what I have not mentioned is about the enterprise analysis, right? So till now we assume that the projects are are approved, budgets are allocated to it, and then you have started planning, elicitation, documentation, and then testing of the system, development and testing, right? But before you get into all of these activities, you need to do some assessment, feasibility, and then identification of new projects, right? So how are you going to do that, right? Because some projects could cost even multi-million dollars, right? So how are you going to decide whether this project is worth taking up, right? So all those activities of identifying new projects and then building a business case for it, doing feasibility studies, would form the the enterprise analysis. All these activities would form into your enterprise analysis, right? Now, not really significant for you if you're actually looking into or getting into a new business analyst role, because this is more for a senior folks, and in fact it's actually evolving into a different role called as an enterprise architect, right? So it's a too complex area to understand at this stage if you're actually a fresher business analyst kind of person, right? So not really important from your job perspective or even immediate interviews point of view, right? So I would give you an overview about this topic at the end of the session, so that you understand that this is one of the future career paths of a business analyst, right? So that's basically is what the course is about, right? So yeah, one key thing I need to mention is that the course is specifically for IT business analyst, right? Because the term business analyst is a vaguely used term across industries, right? So, and different profiles in different industries would have a different work work profile, right? So we are focusing on a business analyst who is working on an IT project, implementation of an IT system in any organization, right? And as specified, we are aligned to the IIBA, and to the CBAP certification, though the focus is not on taking the certification. The focus is a lot more on freshers getting onboarded onto a business analyst role, right? So I'll follow this course outline. I'll give you an overview about the overall industry. How is it? How is it? Structured? How is the client's organization structured? IT vendors organization structured? When a new project is formed, how is it structured? Then how do you plan for your requirements? How do you understand the requirements? The analysis and design. What are the various techniques you can do that? The communication. Then testing, and finally a brief overview about the enterprise analysis, right? Some more details about what we do in each one of these sessions. Like planning, we'll try to identify the various stakeholders, then prepare those schedules and estimates, manage the scope and change and risk, right? So one other thing I want to mention is, I would take some case studies which are real time, and which are some simple case studies, depending on the topic we are learning. Like for planning and requirement elicitation, maybe I would take some real life case studies. But when we are analyzing and documenting the requirements, right, and for designing and the analysis and documentation part, we'll take some simple case studies so that you're not overwhelmed with the complexity of the requirement, and your focus is on understanding the concepts. Right? So we'll take some simpler examples there. So it's a combination of all of them, and you have any the training material will also include some take-home assignments. If you're further interested in doing some assignments, the training material will have it. Yeah. Then for requirement analysis and design, we'll learn about the structured analysis and object-oriented analysis, right? And part of the communication, we'll learn about how to prepare a communication plan and what are the various artifacts and modes of communication. We'll learn about testing as SID, system integration testing and user acceptance testing. Basically, this life cycle of testing and what is your role in that. Enterprise analysis, I'll give you an overview about how you go about identifying target and developing a case study for getting approval for that project, right? So any other topics which you are interested in, we can take it up. Right? The target audience again is people who are freshly out of college with an MBA, or maybe from other fields as well, and people experienced in other industries who actually want to move into an IT industry, or technical folks who want to move to a business analyst role. Right? So we are mostly focusing on people who are new to this role of a business analyst. Right? And rightly, the focus also is onto the the fundamentals of the role rather than taking the certifications. Right? There are a lot of training materials. The training material again is all organized into a onto a drive, which I'll be sharing with you once the training which you confirm for the training. Right? It's organized into the presentations what we would use for the session. Then there will be a lot of templates. So each and every deliverable what is expected out of the business analyst, you'll ensure that we'll have a template for that, and we'll discuss those templates as well when we are talking about the course. The third thing is some additional reading material for each of the topics. I have identified some material which you can read through, so that you get a fairly better understanding about what you have learned in the class, right? So that's basically what I wanted to say. Yeah, over to you guys. Now you can unmute yourself, and if you have any questions.
Unmuted.
Will we be going over Scrum methodology as well?
Yes. So that would be one of the ways in which you would understand the requirements, right? So
okay.
Right. If you look at the material, Scrum methodology, we would use the user stories to capture the requirements, right? So you don't really need to be a Scrum Master. You actually have to be part of the overall, a participant in the overall, agile methodology, the Scrum methodology, right? So you need to understand the process of how a agile methodology works, and most importantly, you need to understand how do you document the requirements in the Scrum methodology, right? So that is done using user stories. So that's again part of the topic, right? Yeah. Any other questions?
Yes. Is there a contact like email for you? So if we have a question, we can email you.
Yes, there would be. What I would do is, the training material and everything, I would share it to you onto a Google Drive, and and I will also be available on that email ID. So maybe not on the same day. You can expect the response maybe on the next day as well, because of the time differences as well. So there could be some delay, but you can definitely expect a response within a day. And it's not only during the course. Maybe I'll also ensure that you get your responses even at a later point. If you have any doubts, or maybe you want some more clarity on a particular topic, I will be available on that email ID. Right?
Okay.
I have a question. Will the PowerPoint be provided for us after the after each lecture? Will the PowerPoint be emailed to us? Do we have
yes.
access to the PowerPoint?
I will upload it onto a Google Drive and then share it to you so that you can download everything, right? So that would be an easier way to sharing it, because email IDs, you might miss out some of the material, right? And you don't need to share it on a day-to-day basis. So it's all available. Once you confirm your participation, I can share that email with you.
Do you happen to have an idea who we need to speak to about if we want to change our schedule for the class? Like if you want it at a later time or earlier?
Let me know your preferences, or maybe who's the person who is coordinating your coordinating with you. Maybe you can discuss it with you. So I'm flexible with the timings. What time zone are you in? Is it Australia or US?
I'm in the US Pacific time zone.
Pacific. All right. So Pacific would be what, 7:20 p.m. now?
Yes, mine was at 7 p.m. But I wanted to do something more around 9 p.m. my time, or 8 p.m. So is that something that's available?
All right. Let me check with other folks as well. Sama and Blessing, are you okay with that time, or what is
Oh, my time. My time is 9 p.m. Central Time. So
Central.
Yeah, same here. I'm at 9 p.m. right now.
9 p.m. Central, and I cannot go later than that. So.
All right. How are your morning times?
Yeah, I have a full-time job in the morning.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let me figure that out. Maybe now.
Is it so? What is the schedule like? Is the class every day, including Saturday, Sundays? And
it's a 5-day week, because most of the time we don't take it up on the weekends, right? So it's a 5-day week, Monday to Friday, or maybe Sunday to Thursday, depending upon how you want to have it, right? So it's a 1-hour session every day. And we'll use the same GoToMeeting bridge to log in and then have the sessions.
Okay. Well, you can let me know about the schedule later.
Yeah. Let me note it down so that I don't forget. You're saying that it's 7. You want it a bit early, right? Or a bit later, right?
Yes, I wanted it a little later at night, because I mean I'm in Pacific time and I get off work at.
So it's
7,
what 8 p.m. is good for you, right?
Yes, 8 or 9 p.m., whatever is available.
Okay. And Shaima and Blessing, for you, it's 9.
I mean, I can do an hour later if she has a problem with the time. I don't know about Blessing though, but I can do an hour later because I'm in Central Time as well, Raju.
All right. So, so it's 9 p.m. Central Time now, right? For you?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it is.
Yeah.
I guess I could do 10.
9 to 10.
We can take it as it goes. I mean, for this week, I've scheduled my work already because I did not know if it was possible to change it. So since is it just the three of us, maybe we can kind of like coordinate, like 1 week we can do it at 7, next week we can do it at 8.
Yeah.
So that way nobody is having the burden of the whole late, because I mean, if you're in Central Time Zone, I mean, at 10 o'clock I'm like falling asleep, so I understand that.
All right.
Okay.
I think
so we can stick to 7 for this week, and then maybe on Friday we can see if everybody's okay with an hour later, or let's see how it goes.
All right. So,
Yeah, Roger, I had another question.
Yeah. Good.
I was going to ask you if we're using any particular software for the assignments and such.
See, what we are learning in this course is the methodology, or we are focusing more on why we are doing it, right? So software just helps you in doing it, right? So if I have to take an analogy, it's something like learning English and using Word to write a paragraph about it, right? So all you would use a software is to create these diagrams, right? So once you have like a use case diagram, right? So you can use multiple things to document your use cases, right? So all your software does is it will help you create these diagrams, right? So which could even be done using PPT, right? But I would take a session on to the Visio, right? A small 1-hour session, so that you can understand it.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Okay, so you will like maybe touch on SQL.
So just within Microsoft Office, though, nothing else.
Yes, most of the time, a business analyst would require, MS Office. You need to be good with Word, and then, to an extent.
How about SQL?
SQL, if you actually require, then I can, give a small session on that as well, right?
I would like to request SQL as well, if that's possible.
Yeah. So I'll give you the basics about that, about what is it that you need to know about SQL and all, right? So even there is a small note, and a link to the self-learner course, right? So I have something which I have already prepared for, because these requests keep on coming in, but not many people would require that, right? So not many roles would ask for that, so I don't really put that as part of the standard course. But yeah, as I said, topics which you're interested in, and we could do that. Yeah.
Okay, because like a lot of the business analyst positions that I've seen, the requirements, they always want you to like know the SQL server and all that stuff.
So see, you learn about SQL, and the thing is like that, you need some querying language onto the databases, right? You store some data into your database, right? So there should be a language in which you can, wherein you can retrieve the data from that database, right? So how do you do that? So SQL is one way of doing it, right? And because there are multiple types of databases, like you have SQL Server, you have Oracle, you have DB2, right? So there are multiple SQL querying languages also, right? So like SQL Server querying language would be different from DB2's querying language, and which is again different from Oracle's querying language, right? So what we would concentrate is on the generic part, right? So wherein you can fairly understand the differences depending upon the kind of project you are in, but we fairly try to cover the kind of involvement which a business analyst should have, right? So we would, but from a functional point of view, we would cover the data modeling completely, wherein you will understand how to create an underlying data model for a database, right? So that's covered using your ER diagrams, right? So we'll cover the data modeling as well in the course. All right. Yeah, as I said again, this course has been like I'm doing this for almost 3 years now, so it's fairly comprehensive. Like the kind of request what is coming in are mostly addressed. Like now I've tried to add on to these topics because based on the requests coming in for each and every batch. So most of the requests which you are asking would have already been there, but now I don't keep each and everything into the standard course because not everybody requires this, like the SQL and maybe Visual as well, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll stick to the same time for now, and maybe we can see if it's amenable for everybody or we need to change as we go. All right.
Okay.
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 Okay then. So it was nice talking to you guys, and so same time tomorrow we'll meet again. All right.
Okay.
And request you to please share your email IDs and confirm your participation to the coordinator today, so that we can take on the sessions from.
How do we do that? How do we
Who is the person who is coordinating with you? The support for this.
I've spoken to 2 different people, Harry and Rohit.
All right, all right. So maybe you can touch base with them. Ask.
So just let them know that we participated in the class today.
Yes, and if you're interested in the course, say that you want to continue it further, and also so that I get the email IDs and confirmation for me.
Okay.
Right, and then we'll take it on from there.
Okay, so like to share the information on, you say Google Plus, do we need to also give them our Gmail account? Do we need to have a Gmail?
Not required. Not required.
Oh, not required.
So I would share my see, Google Drive is something wherein you can store some.
Oh, Google Drive. Okay, yes. No, that's good. Okay.
So I have organized this onto a Google Drive so that it's easier for you to copy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you can pick it up from there.
Sounds like a plan.
So are you gonna send us the PowerPoint for tomorrow? The material.
So that's what I'm saying. If you can confirm the participation, we don't have to go through the hassles. I would just share it with you, right? So
Okay,
I'll
all right.
Drive and
I'll go ahead
will
and
be
do
there in
that right after.
Right?
Okay.
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 It was nice talking to you folks.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Raju.
Thank you.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Bye.